Grand afternoon. It is, I am the patchwork of the living God. It's Sunday, June 7th, and 2026. Not sure of the time. I can't see the time right now, but I think it's close to 4 p.m. If not, that time is after 4 p.m. But at any rate, it's story time. So I'll get into what I'm gonna call this shortly, maybe while I'm doing it. Well, anyway, it's a plot twist with family who's a little bit disturbed. We have the Addams Family, that series that was once on. So now we have maybe it's not time for me to share the name of this. But anyway, we'll give some fictitious names, but the story may be very true. Some events of it might be. Anyway, imagine as a little child, the one who everyone looks to but hate to acknowledge their effects that they have on them and how they achieve in this world, right? And we'll call her Star Bella. Yes, Star Bella, the loving child who sees all things intuitively. Well, being part of this family, we'll call the mother figure Red. Yes, Red, she's a very mysterious woman. She has a lot of secrets. She's a narcissist female who hates someone else's happiness, even when it could be her very own starseed, or one that she should appreciate and not hold a grudge or try to downtrot. So Red, she had a husband figure around the 3 siblings, and the older sibling, we'll call her Mare. In the Bible, Mare, there was a mother who was just so outdone with the pains that she had to experience trying to bring that child on the earth. And this particular sibling, sister, she acts like a robot almost. She also loves to do witchcraft like her mother Red, on anyone or anything that doesn't go her way. She likes to do witchcraft, and that's how she thinks she could slay it or seal the deal. But hold that thought, because that's not the way. And soon, Mare and Red will understand and understand that too. And then we have the middle child. The middle child. What does the middle finger symbolize? Well, this is that nutcase all in one. They're a psychopath. They love to lie to you, on you, and laugh if you fall for it and get caught in their lie. They love your pain. That's how they obtain energy or some type of status, so they think. But they too will soon find out that's not the way. And then there's Pops, the Rolling Stone, who loved to leave his home and go make his bed wherever he can and bring in more mouths to feed elsewhere. Yeah, Papa was a Rolling Stone. Anyway, that particular parental figure. Now, these kinfolk who may have captured Starbella, so they might be napkins. The napkins, yeah. Okay, this is my story on my channel. I am the patchwork of God. Napkins. Okay, so that's napkins. Expressions of a mafia family. Poor little Starbella, the one who's younger than everybody, but yet she's being sucked off. She's being sucked on by everybody so they can proceed in their dangerous activities on communities in cities, states, and towns where they travel to see how they can bring havoc to your home by using witchcraft. But because these people, they look like your average family, they could even come off as needy and innocent, but they're cold and calculated. They have to get in, befriend you, see what you got, and then after they befriend you somehow, you know how people get comfortable and they let you come on in, and they give you almost a key to the house, and you can go in the refrigerator, you can go in my room, you can go get my medicine for me, and oh my God, what a mistake that is. Because these people are murderers and they're thieves. They like to achieve things by stealing from you. So they gotta befriend you, almost like the movie that Ice-T played in, Surviving the Game. Ice-T was a homeless guy, but he was assertive in mind. His mind was there. Although he didn't think first before agreeing to what he thought was a nice gesture and that could get him off the street. See, that's what these people do. The napkin folk that I knew. The Starbella I am. Right? They will come in, befriend. Then once they know what they want, then they start working on you. They start making you sick. And once that sickness take root, then they start doing root work on you to make sure that a coffin obituary has your name on it. This is red, Archibald, the psychopath son, Mare, the daughter, the older sister, the oldest sibling, and then you got Pops, the Rolling Stone. And then you have the Starseed, Starbella, the one whose innocence they tried to taint by putting her in situations and letting her see things that she shouldn't see, by doing dark magic on her crown chakra, the Ori, so that when they put her in certain situations, she would probably participate because she's under spell, and they will get the accolades of whatever they're trying to achieve. The napkins, the Voodoo Mafia family. Yeah, that's what we'll call this. The napkins, the Voodoo Mafia family. This is the first segment of a story. And excuse the sirens. I'm just getting started. Now again, this could be fiction or this could be real. Nevertheless, when you go to a movie, you should ask yourself, could this really happen? Because some things can, and they do. Now, Red, she always complained of her childhood. She couldn't do this or that. And they didn't have money, and she had, after school, she had to go take care of grandma. Maybe that's the grandma that loved one of her children so much and put her name on a lot of stuff that the Voodoo Mafia crew took from her. And the grandma, we'll call her Gammy, she loved to go to church. She loved to dress up. She loves to run her numbers, because back, when I was younger, they were running numbers. It wasn't really the lotto then. They were running numbers. And she would have me go up to the corner store with her note so I can play her numbers when I go visit her in the summertime, little Starbella. And then I know a couple of times the older siblings would come, Archibald and Mare. But I think as they grew older and got their own jobs, their summer jobs, they stayed, and I went away for the summer to visit Gamma and the other, or should I say the Starbella went away to visit Gamma and the other family members who Starbella, as she grew, she saw something different in these people. They were different. Like, there was a cousin who went in the military, was in the army. Supposedly, she got a Purple Heart, but yet she don't get any benefits from the military. At least that's what she said. And then she didn't want to press upon it the Purple Heart. But now that I think about it, Starbella probably knew that the uncle that she never met, we'll call him Julius, Julius had a lot of acclimates. He was in the military, and he passed away. But Starbella doesn't remember seeing him too much, or Starbella don't remember him, but she remembered the obituary and all the accolades that he had, and maybe this particular cousin that quote unquote got a Purple Heart from the military, but yet living in the projects in Key West, Florida, never pursued her benefits from the military, but she was acting like she was shell-shocked, but didn't want to pursue getting her benefits from the military. I don't understand that unless they were stealing off of the back of Julius. See, again, the Napkins, the Voodoo Mafia family, they will kill their own family member if you got more than them. If they're jealous of you and they don't like the things that you have achieved on your own, they will try to get rid of you. Especially if you know right from wrong and you would never think to do that to them or try to destroy their home. They will try to get rid of you. Starbella, it has fallen in their web of lies and their attacks to overthrow her in her walk on life. Now, Papa was a Rolling Stone. His family dynamic was weird too. He says he had a lot of siblings, and the mother figure, their mother passed away early, and so that left them to live with other siblings of the mother figure because she passed away early. There's something weird going on with that side of the family too, because there was another brother that this father figure told me that he was in a sundown town, and he didn't make it out before the sun went down, and so he was dragged behind the truck. Now, Starbella like, what? This is a story that Papa was a Rolling Stone told me that happened to one of his brothers. But was it his brother, or was it something to do with Starbella, who might be not their kin? She was kidnapped by the Napkin Voodoo Mafia family crew. Yeah. And so, my big mama, the one that raised Papa was a Rolling Stone, quote unquote, she was a foster parent. And she had two twin boys. They wasn't identical. They wasn't identical, so they look alike, but they didn't look alike. Okay, and we'll call them Janaes and Jabres, the ones that were very disobedient in the Bible. Janaes and Jabres, yeah, that's what we'll call them, right? They were very hard-headed, very rebellious, and they would harm the other foster children that were younger than them. They would molest them, take advantage of them, and those two were molesting one another Crazy, huh? I know. And these two, I don't know why my big mama and big daddy, I believe they told me at one point they adopted them because their real mother was on drugs. She was on crack or something. She was on drugs. I don't know which drug it was. And she got them when they were really, really small. But Starbella know that there's something going on, but she just can't figure it out because she's too young. But she know that something ain't right. But by the grace of God, she made it through, and she made it to adulthood to, start her own family. And we'll get into that too. But, with the Voodoo Mafia family, they did everything under the sun, abominable, detestable to Starbella. Almost like how Empire was getting twisted. We see how the stars in Empire, they were, doing their music thing. The father was hoeing around and driving his wife insane. The children were doing their own thing and not, properly being chastised. And that's kind of like how the Voodoo Mafia family allowed their children to be. Except they were teaching Archibald and Marae how to be crooks. But Starbella, they seen that she would be like, no, she would tell on them. So they had to keep her in the background, but keep her close. Because at some point in the game, Starbella would say something that would let them know, no, don't do that, or go ahead with whatever you're doing, because she was intuitively inclined. And so when they saw that in Starbella, they said, oh, I want to destiny swap. Red, the witch, the narcissistic female, who feels like because her childhood was ruined, she could ruin someone else's. The one who's now seeing that even though you may pay for things to be taken away, it just don't go away when the ancestors say no way. Ancestors, they love to come back and make things right. And in this case, the Voodoo Mafia family, they're learning the hard way. Poor little Starbella didn't know what was going on. She just loved her crazy family. We'll call them crazy now because she know. But when she was younger, she loved him. She even told her narcissistic Archibald brother that he was her hero, not knowing that he is a psycho, and he too wanted to wear her skin, wanted to have her brain and confidence, wanted to take whatever she had and just do her like a prune. They wanted to dry me out like a dried fruit, or like beef jerky. You dry the meat and it becomes beef jerky, right? That's what this napkin folk, the Voodoo Mafia family. The first series of this story. Whether it's, you have to decide whether it's true or fiction. Some of it is. Okay? But at a later date, everything will come out. Even the proper names of Red, Archibald, Marae, and Papa was a Rolling Stone. Now, as Starbella grew up, as she was growing up, She couldn't really go to basketball games. She got hand-me-downs, almost like Cinderella, hand-me-downs. She somehow, when she was younger, must have gotten frightened, or because of the molestation that Starbella body went through. She would wet the bed sometimes when it's time to get up for school, so she had to, get cleaned up, take a bath, and rush out the door. And but she always remembered to lock the door because the school was right across the street from the apartment where they lived. But Starbella was very strong. She had a lot of strength that the Most High put in her. She always keep going on. Even when people try to do her wrong, she overlook it and continue to be their friend longer than she should have. She should have walked away way back when. But Starbella liked to give you opportunities until she grew up, and now the truth she sees, she say, no, I can't keep going through this, because the older I get, the more they try to do to me. And if you keep letting someone stomp on you, then that's all they will do for you. So Starbella had to wake up and remove herself from the family. And the family didn't like that. Starbella, at 17, she moved out. But prior to that, she was having difficulty in school because Red, the narcissist, was doing spell work on her for her to never achieve. Start something but never completed. That was a ritual she did on this Starbella continually. Poor Starbella. But the Most High saw what was going on, and he's removing that too. So Red, all that is gone. Archibald, the lazy, slowful, psychopathic son who is sexually confused, don't want to work. He's selfish. He's like, other people, all they do is lie, when he's the biggest liar. It's like in his DNA, almost like, I believe it's Psalms 109. Those who like the curse, it will be like water on their skin and oil to their bones. It's like he lies so much, it just comes from the gut outwardly to it just come with ease when he speak. And you'll be confused if you didn't know that he was a psychopath, and that's all that he do. He lie. And so, I imagine on some of his jobs that involved law enforcement, he probably had difficulty with other folks that wasn't really down for it. But on jobs, as a lot of us see that try to live quietly in the land and just want peace, you see that it's more wicked people who like to scheme, plot, and have a clique than it is of the quiet ones who just want to do their job and split, right? Just go to their surroundings and be in peace. So, because Archibald is such a narcissist too, on top of being a psychopath, on top of lying, then you can catch him in a lie, and then if you call him out, he really want to get you, and then he focus in on it, and he says it out loud. I'm gonna get them. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And he just told himself that so much till he started becoming, that's what you call a warlock, spell casting. So, you know, Archibald is something, I don't know. Mare, she, right after graduation, she hooked up with some dude and married him real quick. But then I guess they was having problems, so she had to come to her mama, Red, and they did some spells on him too. And so I guess he ended up complying and probably doing spell work too later on after they had to work on his Ori, his crown chakra. Because I remember Archibald saying, you know, so-and-so was about to leave Mare because of their sex. I guess the sex wasn't good enough. I don't know. But at any rate, Mare does act like a robot. She, like I said, if she can't get what she wants, she got to do witchcraft like her mother. Toxic. And so they eventually stayed together. But Starbella can see that they wasn't really together. You know how you can see some marriages and you say, yeah, they married, but it's like they do their own thing. That was what was going on there. So apparently they made a deal with the devil in their marriage to keep it, because eventually they end up having 2 children out of the deal. But I remember when Mare said, "Oh, I gotta have surgery on my on something on both her feet," and this was after she had the children. She had to go pick up her daughter with the sore feet, because the husband, like, no, you wanted these kids; those your kids, and this is how that person talked. That's why I say Mare got some issues. Yeah, she got some issues. Because Starbella wouldn't have no husband like that. If I just had surgery, I'm going to need for you to help out, please. Okay. Anyway, like I said, the marriage was weird. And I don't know, maybe Mare got mad at me because Starbella just says what's on her mind, not to be rude, but she just see what she see and be like, why you deal with that? Why? And then they started working on my Ori. And then sending people that they chose, that they mess with my crown for me to like. But it never worked out, because they also did a ritual on me, on Starbella, that when you fall in love, it will never be love. It will be misery. And when you think that you're in love, they're going to walk out on you. And that's what you would see. Something to that effect, because Red don't like for you to be happy, because she was never happy. Because Starbella, remember when, you know, all these different men would come in and you would hear like the song Matrimony going on in the bedroom. What is that, by Wiz Khalifa? Right. Red don't want nobody to know that, because she wants to look like she's this upstanding person. As a matter of fact, she ended up marrying a pastor. That both of them are crooked. He's not a pastor. He's a asterisk. Take the P off. He's an asterisk. Okay? Almost like a hashtag. Anywho, these people, these napkins, Voodoo Mafia family on both sides, the mother and the father, except maybe the grandparents were okay at some point. And when I say that, Janae's and Jabri's, they were some hellions. And I used to tell my grandmother about them. Starbella, yes, she did. And so I believe Red kept in contact through Papa Was a Rolling Stone with Janae's and Jabri's. And they started attacking the older people who had assets. And they unalived them for them. And then they started collecting the paperwork, changing it up with other corrupt people. The Voodoo Mafia family. These people are. After Starbella broke away and she just want to be free because she's a free thinker. She thinks for herself. She just be. She love. Not in a promiscuous way or a perverted way, but that's how they try to paint her because that's who they are, right? And so they would send losers, and this one particular loser, Janae's, which also stands for John. As a matter of fact, that's who this person's name was. James and John is so common, so we just keep that as is. Now that one is definitely like the Antichrist. That one just don't want to go away because he's also a loser. His business is to catfish a man or a woman to take their assets. He think that sexual rituals will get him far, and that's what's always on his mind, but not necessarily on the other person's mind, because there's more to life than that. But this particular individual don't know that because he's all messed up in his body, seriously, with STDs and just the functioning of his mind due to childhood and then growing up to become hood. And it's backfiring on all of them, but they just don't see it. They don't look in the mirror and say, I'm a complete jackal, we'll say. They don't look in the mirror and say that. They try to take your shine, if not try to take your destiny. Like single black female. Like obsessed with Beyonce. Yeah, these people, they like to watch a lot of movies because when they're on the phone with one another, they like to give out the codes of the movies, of their next moves, or what they already have done to someone. So they can try to elude, if there was, somebody investigating them on their ugly deeds that Starbella may not know about, or remember because they've been messing with her crown so much. These Napkins, Voodoo Mafia family. Yeah. And then it's very sad for a parental figure, Red, to sabotage a little child with her classmates, with her lovers, on her jobs as she got older. That's what Red did to Starbella. She would go behind her back. She would make sure she calls her every week to see what's going on, because Starbella didn't know. For many, many years, she didn't know that a mother figure hated her and was trying to destiny swap with her. And this voodoo queen was doing rituals to try to achieve that. But God, right? God say no. As a matter of fact, the Bible say, suffer not the little ones. You might as well put a millstone around your neck, right? If you mess with the little ones and misguide them. But these people are not afraid of the Bible, because as they read, as we all read, some of the things in the Bible are they can be up for debate, because as I remember it, as I know, it was given to a certain group of people to make them passive, and some of the group of people could not read, so the ones that could read or was taught to read was told to read certain scriptures to make sure that they stay under the rule of thumb, under the master. So that's why when you read the Bible, it is a map for life, right? It is one of many books that could be a map for you to get yourself on the right track, if that's what you choose to do. Because at the end of the day, when you do something wrong, everybody I know, you feel it in your gut. And even if you are a narcissist, you feel it in your guts if you have done something wrong. But when you become so obsessively with doing wrong, you don't care about it anyway, and you just keep going on doing wrong, right? Because that's why we have psychopaths in the world. Until they get caught, they keep doing what they do. Like Red, Archibald, Murray, Papa was a Rolling Stone, Janae's and Jabray's, and other folks that they got on their team of thugs. But, you know, Starbella is very grateful that she was able to break away from them in spirit and in the natural. However, there's something that must be done and will be done for this to be made right for Starbella, because it's downhill for those who did abominable things to Starbella. It's downhill for them. Starbella don't really want to hear any excuse of, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that, or she don't want you to come to her and try to negotiate what you already tried to conceal. And then on top of the concealment, you tried to spiritually unalive her so that your hands could remain clean, but your heart and soul knew that you were spiritually trying to unalive her, which really is a real thing. From, the Napkins Voodoo Mafia family crew. Yeah, they like to get with groups of other people who are about that stuff, like the secret society, the Illuminati, because they all want to be stars, but they want to get it the wrong way. Like Cain was mad at Abel because God was pleased with his sacrifice or his gesture of goods unto the Father. And Cain got mad when God was giving him accolades, and he killed his own brother. Now, if that's not the truth of what we see in real life, when you have jealousy and envy, which brings along strife and murder and deceit and greed and all kind of perverted, twisted way of thinking, this is the Napkin Voodoo Mafia family. They don't see that you need to go do what you need to do for you. If you befriend the right person, maybe they'll give you an olive branch where you can pick yourself up and have some assets. But no, they want to come in, befriend, see what you got, then plot and plan to steal, kill, and destroy. That's what they tried to do to me. They tried to kill, steal, and destroy my star, my character, my abilities to be me, free like the wind that's blowing, like this tree that's overhead of me, right? And then they try to use magic over court systems or people that can make a difference and think that that's okay. But then they don't think that, okay, just maybe we'll let them think that we're on their team, but we're not. Because we need to go deeper and see what all they are doing so we can put a stop to it. And Sarbella, she gets a little impatient because life has been a little rocky. It's been a little rough. But she's a tough cookie. But Starbella wants this closed out. Because the Voodoo Mafia family, they're not only messing with me, they could be messing with you too. Remember, movies that you see, could it really be happening? Could the Walking Dead series just be a series, or is that true? Have you ever walked around in your neighborhood and you see people walking like they mechanical, like they got alopecia, like they just walk right past you, they don't even see you, but they act like a robot? They could be, let's see, Harry Potter calls them interceptors, called up, I believe, by necromancy. Yeah, see, Harry Potter made billions of dollars teaching people how to do voodoo and spells, and made a lot of money. And some people are fascinated with Harry Potter. And Harry Potter do teach you how to protect yourself with spells too, but some people watch it for the wrong reasons, and they might try to use different things on you. So again, when you're watching a movie, make sure you're watching it and it's not watching you. Ask the Holy Spirit to give you understanding, show you what can happen in real life, or is it happening to you in some areas that you may be having difficulty in, because it might be somebody close to you like it was me, everybody that I ever knew, the Nap kin, Voodoo Mafia family. They're really not my friend. Check and see who's in your corner, because they might be the one that's trying to do you in. Like me, I sit out in the wind. I know which direction I feel it coming. You may not see it, but the wind is your friend because it tells you when it's here. But like a liar, a scam artist, someone who camouflaged themselves with witchcraft, put a veil on them where they look like they're dignified. They won't harm a fly, but people can dress themselves up, and they are a whole lie. They are murderers, they are dark, they are perverted, they are molesters, they are pedophiles, they are twisted in their heart. But they can hold a face that you would never see, that's the part that they play on this earth, unless you ask the Most High, the Creator, to show you the way. Show me what I do not see. Show me who it is that is attacking me. That's what I want today. The Creator, I'm speaking to you, the one who woke me up today on June 7, 2026. Have your way. Don't let this Nap kin, Voodoo Mafia family, have its way anymore over my life. Whatever they did in secret, bring it to fruition. Let us see what we live around, what they have done. They put probably many in the ground. Some of them, they have even lied and say that they're dead, but they're around here with a new face, a new body, going to plastic surgery. You remember there was a plastic surgery team, white males that had a series. I wouldn't be surprised if they got some type of ties with them too, doing the plastic surgery after they do the crime, so they can go head on and live somewhere else and think that nobody knows until they do know. That's happening too.